Sorry, I've been sick and I haven't felt like posting recently. The Backrooms is a realm that's completely separate from our own. It's not a video game or a TV show, it's basically just a story that originated on 4chan. Or is it? It originally started as one floor, pretty much based like this picture, but over time it got more and more lore, and that's what I'm getting into in this series. And there is a lot of lore, so be prepared for this to be a very long series. But anyway, where is it and how do you get there? Well, the Backrooms can only be accessed if you no-clip through a wall or a floor, in a place that triggers a feeling of deja vu or nostalgia. No-clipping is basically accidentally falling through a wall or a floor. You know all those liminal space videos that go around TikTok, where the place looks really creepy but you feel like you've been there? Yeah, those are possible entrances to the Backrooms. The story of the Backrooms. Some odd years ago, a man went to his community health clinic for a routine checkup. When he walked in, he got an overwhelming feeling of deja vu. The interior was as plain and mundane as it can be. He went to the woman at the front desk to check in, and she handed him her clipboard. As he sat in his chair filling out the clipboard, he slumped back in his chair. And instead of his head hitting the wall, it was met with nothing. He stepped back and inspected the wall. It looked normal, but when he reached out to touch it, he didn't feel anything. Suddenly, he fell forward into the wall and was met face first with a mouthful of dirty beige carpet. He sat up and looked around. It was an odd little room, or rather, it was a bunch of rooms connected. Everything was a gross shade of tan, and the carpet was musty and moist. There were no windows or doors, and no matter what he tried, he could not get back through the wall. He knew he had to get out of there.
Does this photo seem familiar to you? Well, it fucking shouldn't. If it does to you, these are actually called the Backrooms. Let me show you what I found about them. So it says, apart from very rare instances, level 0, which is this picture, is very repetitive, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz. If you don't know what that sounds like, here it is. And approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. Although level 0 is mostly made up of randomly segmented rooms, hallways, and a few flights of stairs, some cracks on the wallpaper can be found occasionally, showing that maybe people tried to escape this level. It is by far the safest level. Interactions with beings in this region are rare but can happen. The known beings on level 0 include hounds, dullers, facelings, and rarely lighters. Apparently there are 4 levels to the Backrooms, and there are different beings on each level, progressively getting more hostile as you go up. Leave a like if you want me to show you what I found about level 1.
Level 1 and 2 of the Backrooms. The reason I'm doing both is because level 1 is really similar to level 0. They differ in appearance in that the walls are concrete instead of wallpaper and the floors are tile instead of carpet. Level 1 also experiences blackouts, where the lights flicker and then shut off for hours at a time. Level 2 is where it begins to get significantly more dangerous. It's made up of long pitch black hallways in some areas and flickering lights in the other. It has a bunch of elevators, flights of stairs, locked doors, and pipes filled with black goopy liquid. I didn't speak about the entities in the other rooms, which I will get to, but the ones that are in this level are especially dangerous, compared to the others, that is. Your best chance of escaping any of these entities is to turn around and run as fast as you can. With each level, it becomes more and more difficult to leave the Backrooms, so you have less of a chance of escaping this floor than the other 2.
Actual footage of the Backrooms level 3, but before I start this video, if you have major anxiety or derealization issues, then please do not proceed with the video. Let's take a look at level 3.
The Backrooms, level 4. Despite coming from an extremely dangerous level 3, level 4 should be your personal cakewalk. Level 3 is marked unsafe, unsecure, medium entity count, while level 4 is safe, secure, and minimal entity count. The physical appearance mimics both an empty office building and an abandoned storage unit. There are windows in this level, but if you find them, it's warned to stay clear, as they are all traps and should be avoided at all cost. This level is most known for its scattering of almond milk in broken vending machines, out of coolers, and even found coming out of the water fountains. It's always suggested you drink and carry as much as you can, as this will be your main source of nutrition throughout the rest of your times in the back room, and you're going to need it. as the upcoming levels will end up being your worst nightmare.
The Backrooms, Level 5. Level 5 is one of the smallest floors and thought to be the oldest. It's also thought to be one of the safest, but it is still easy to get lost or go insane there. Level 5 appears to be an abandoned hotel from the early 20th century. There are reportedly two areas, the hotel and the boiler. The hotel seems to be made up of a series of rooms and vaulted corridors. These rooms tend to be empty, but occasionally they have furniture from the 1920s. There are a number of early 20th century elevators scattered throughout the area. The floor indicator above the elevators shows that there are 13 floors. However, attempting to use these elevators will result in death. The center of the hotel is the Beverly Room, alternatively referred to as the Eternal Ballroom. The room contains only one table in the center of the room, illuminated by a chandelier. On this table is an unfinished game of Mahjong. Attempting to mess with this game will transport you to Level 2. The Backrooms, Level 6. Level 6 is an extremely dangerous level, although not in the way that you would think. This level is completely devoid of all natural light. It's almost impossible to travel through unless you have a flashlight or a lantern on you. Even though it is possible, not many travelers stay long enough to find anything of note. In fact, this level is very seldom traveled through and even more seldom survived. There's very little additional information or photographs about this level, although it is rumored that this level contains no entities at all, at least not any physical ones, but rather a general atmosphere that lets out the ones in your head, quote unquote. It is also rumored that this level in and of itself is an entity, but there isn't really much evidence to support that theory. Creatures in the Backrooms, Part 2. Smilers can really only be identified by their reflective eyes and teeth. Nobody really knows what they look like in the light, but it's rumored that they have non-human bodies with arms and legs bent in unnatural directions. Smilers are generally very aggressive, so if you happen to see one, you need to run. It's confirmed that they usually get their victims by assaulting them by throwing things at them, either until they die or until they flee. The best way to escape a smiler is by turning off your light, this is imperative, and running into the opposite direction as fast as you can. Smilers aren't very smart, so if you turn off your light, they won't be able to see you and run after you. However, if you run with your light on, it will greatly decrease your chances of escaping because they will chase you. Now, there have only been a few confirmed sightings of these creatures, but that may be because there's very few survivors. These confirmed cases, however, have been found on levels 2 and 34. Creatures in the Backrooms, Part 1. This is a skin stealer. The only description that we really have of these creatures are that they are tall and pale yellow creatures. They look like a humanoid figure with sunken eyes. Skin stealers are normally docile creatures, but they get aggravated when they get touched. Once they become aggravated, they hunt down and kill their victim and then tear off their skin, presumably to wear on their own bodies as a sort of disguise. Explorers with long scars along their veins, neck, or chest may possibly be a skin stealer. Another way to tell is by looking at their blood. Skin stealers' blood is transparent. An easy way to remember this is by remembering the rhyme, blood is red, he's not dead, blood's not in sight, be ready to fight. These entities can be found on level 1 and 2. Creatures in the Backrooms, Part 3. The Break Room Man is a non-hostile entity on level 4. He is a 7 feet tall, all-white humanoid with an odd black outline. He also has large eyes that appear to be drawn on. He seems to have memorized the layout of level 4 and often helps travelers by guiding them to settlements. He also carries a coffee mug around with him for some reason. The only time that he's been recorded to have actually hurt someone was when he accidentally spilled coffee on a traveler's arm and burned him.
The end of the Backrooms. Hi guys, I took a little break, but I am back. And as always, if you have major anxiety or derealization issues, then please keep scrolling. So the image that you see behind me is known as the end of the Backrooms. However, it is not the last level, or is it close to the last level. The purpose of the end is to trick travelers into thinking that they've finished the game, and they haven't. The end is basically an empty library with no books or anything. There is a secret hidden desktop, and this is not it. But it's somewhere in the library, I don't know where it's at. You have to find it and run a software. Once you find the software and you run it, it will then teleport you to another level called the Hub. But in order to find the computer, you have to go to the basement of the end. And it is very dangerous. Stay safe.